little kid, my favorite thing to do was going and hanging out with my grandpa in his wood shop. He was always woodworking. I mean, when I was like 2 years old, I had a little plastic workbench in his shop, and I'd just go out there, I guess, for hours and just pretend to make stuff with him. And that was always kind of my happy place as a kid. And then with my dad and my brothers, we built a lot of boats when I was a teenager, and that's a totally different thing. But I didn't realize, I should have figured out that I wanted to build guitars a couple times. Like middle school, a science project, I made a fairly workable guitar for an assignment. I've had a couple other times where in woodshop I built a mini bass guitar. So I realized it was kind of in my blood, but it took me a while to put it together. And then about 5 years ago, when I was able to get my grandfather's tools up to Boise, Idaho, where I was living, about the first thing I did was try to build a Telecaster. It was medium bad, but yeah, it was the beginning of a thing. And I think I'm 10 or 15 guitars later, feeling pretty happy with where I'm at and got no plans on stopping. Before I was born, when my mom was pregnant, my dad, as I found out, awaiting the birth of a child can be it's a strange time. And I think to occupy his mind and keep him busy, he built a boat, which was a scooter boat for fishing in the Gulf of Mexico. And the boat that he built while I was in utero was called the Thunder Chicken 2, and that boat's still around. But I thought it was a cool idea to call my guitars the Thunder Chicken. And in reference to that, I finished the first Thunder Chicken model while Winslow was baking in the oven. So it was fitting the time and the place. And yeah, I think it's a fun name. So with this guitar, tried a couple new things. Firstly, the whole guitar is chambered top and bottom, so it's pretty fully semi-hollow. And I decided for the first time to do wood binding, and I used this flame maple, which is tough if you've ever done it, or if you haven't. The stuff doesn't want to bend because the flame makes it uneven. So it was a challenge. I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. It's definitely made me step up my skills. And then also binding in this lightning bolt with the wood proved to be a challenge, having these tiny little miters. And then working with the neck with the flame maple was new, but not too different from carving a neck out of regular maple. Also in this Thunder Chicken, this is the first one where I decided to pitch the neck. I got about 2.5, 3 degrees on there. Makes it a little more comfortable to play, kind of puts it in the kind of the Gibson world, Les Paul feel, mixed with some of the obvious Telly vibes. It's flame walnut. I'm in love with it. I got it from Cyril Jacobs out at a local mill in the Oregon coast. Love working with him and getting my materials as locally as I can and from local small businesses. Yeah, most of this stuff, except the fretboard on this, I use Rich Light, which is a sustainable alternative to rosewood. I've been really happy working with that. Love the feel of it, love the sustainability, and yeah, the way it looks with this abalone inlay. That's the thing I wanted to say. With this guitar, I've got maple and walnut coming together, and then the inclusion of abalone really just makes it feel like it's from the Oregon coast. It's got, sea and trees and all the stuff that surrounds us that makes me love living here. I try to include in this guitar. Honestly, I just impulsively had bought this Bigsby with the Telly pickup plate. I'd wanted to work with one for a while and had it lying around, and nobody had used it on any of my commission builds. So when I started this guitar, it seemed like an obvious time to pull that off the shelf. And then with that, I've got a Longhouse Co. Telly bridge pickup, and then I split up a couple sets, and I used his Fat Boy humbucker, which is similar to like a PAF humbucker, but a little heavier wind. And then you might notice I excluded a selector, so you've just got individual volume for the humbucker and for the Chelly, and you can blend them or go individual, but no switch, just kept it simple. So this is the first guitar that I built with locking tuners, but I definitely think that's going to be something that I keep doing in the future. The nut here is carved from cow bone. I've been enjoying that. It's like an art of itself, making the bone nuts. I'm pretty happy with the way this one came out. No real reason I felt like this guitar wanted jumbo frets. I know people either have strong feelings or not about them, but a lot of blues players, Stevie Ray Vaughan was big on the jumbo frets, and I thought this just had a fun kind of bluesy vibe to it and wanted to just add another unique flair to it, so I went with the big old frets on there. So on the fretboard here, I decided to have a little bit of fun with it. A lot of old-timey banjos will be swooped real deep and give you some higher frets on the higher strings. I just did a subtle one here to give it my own aesthetic, and I'm really happy with the way that turned out with the overall look of the guitar.